step then, I think the next step for us to do now is to think, what do we do next? How do we go from here? And remembering that formula, let's go back to that little mantra we said. We know where we are now, and where we are now is that Mark has decided that stopping drinking is what you want to do. And so there are some everyday things that you need to think about. So where do you want to be? You want to consolidate, to make as strong as you can, put into practice that decision to stop. What do you need to do? And how are these particular people going to help you? So, two things really. We're going to think about talking to Marie and think about talking to your mother, June.
Yeah.
And think about what's appropriate to do, whether it's appropriate for both of you to talk to June perhaps, Mark to talk to Marie, or it may be that you're good friends with Marie, and it would be helpful to start to have that conversation together and then invite them to come along to the next session so that we can review how things are going. And by that next session, we really want to decide how many times do we want to meet like this with the four of you. So we make that decision, and then it really enables you all to know where we are. You know, when are you going to start really taking over this thing, just edging me out of the network and carrying on. Okay.
Okay.
What do you both think is the first step? You're looking from now. You've already been abstinent since the last appointment. What do you think the really important things that you need to tackle are?
Well, the next things that I need to do in order to carry on not drinking.
Yes.
I think I need to find something more to do. I think.
Okay. So looking at your network here, who are the people who are going to be most helpful in helping you to find more to do?
Well, I think probably Marie and Sally, I think.
I'd like that.
Good. And you're talking about more things to do outside your working day. So you've got your working day and you've got the evenings that were taken up with drinking in the past, and now that you're not drinking, it's a bit of a big lifestyle change.
Yeah, that's when it's hardest really, is in the evenings when I was drinking, and now, well, I don't have much to do at all. And at weekends when I'm not working.
Okay.
I find the weekends, stretch out in front of me, long and empty.
Okay, so this is not something we need to decide with just the three of us here, because your girlfriend is involved in this, and your mother is involved in this as well if you're seeing her twice a week. So they've got quite big roles to play. But what the kind of thing that you've said is the most important thing to do is this. If we look at it as a lifestyle change, that's quite useful way to look at it. And the advantage of looking at a real lifestyle change is it reduces the number of times when you feel tempted to have a drink. But we also want to look at those times that you feel tempted to have a drink and what kind of things we're going to put in place.
Yeah.
And you need to let me know, because I didn't know you were struggling on an evening.
Right.
I kind of had a sense of the weekend, but not the evening, so that's helpful to know.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so June and Marie kind of know what we're doing here today, that we're here today and what we're doing. But now you've got something very specific to talk to them about. This is the first step that we're going to be doing together as a network. And maybe you need to decide which way you're going to do this. Are you going to talk to them individually? Are you going to convene a little family meeting? What's going to be your preference about sitting down with these two people who aren't here and saying, this is what we're doing as a team and how we're going to do it. So it's not just down to you to think of all the ideas about what you're going to do differently. But Sally's going to say, come and do this with me. Marie's going to say, come and do this with me. June's going to say, I want you to do this for me. All of those kind of things.
Yeah.
What's the best way forward?
Well, I think it's probably better if I speak to Marie on my
I
own.
thought the same, yeah, but together for
But
long maybe?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be better. Yeah, because you can help explain things. Whereas I think I could do that okay with Marie, but
I think Marie would appreciate the privacy in the first instance anyway, for you to talk together, and then we could maybe bring it all together
yes, yeah.
once you've had those first conversations.
Okay, so you're wanting to bring it all together, and maybe the bringing it all together could happen before our next session or at our next session, where you all come back with the ideas that you've generated, and don't hesitate to put them into practice before you come back, but let's have something where we can go round, as it were, each, and you've got some activities that we will add onto the map. You know, so, you know, what you're doing with each person. So you've got a real picture of what will become a typical week that will look like quite a different lifestyle than the one that you've had before. And it'll contain nice things to do.
Yeah.
And it'll contain useful things to do. Maybe your mother's got some things about the house that she'd appreciate, or maybe Sally has, or maybe you have got some things about the house you'd appreciate them all coming to help you with. So the kind of chores, but always a good idea to make chores fun, and, you know, with laughter and sandwiches and cups of tea.
Mum would be good at that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then experimenting with new fun things. The things that you're going to do and you're going to think, this is fun, I'm going to look forward to it. Things that really replace the drinking in the past.
Yes, yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is make this really concrete, so that we've got our next appointment in the diary, so that you know by a week on Tuesday you are going to have spoken to your mother, you're going to have spoken to Marie, you're going to have tried some things out, and you're going to come back here and say, how did it go?
Okay. Yeah.
That will also give us an opportunity to identify some of these kind of risks. So we've got some, what are the risky situations, what are the difficult times, what are the difficult places, who are the difficult people that are going to be a challenge to you. Always you're thinking this thought, who's going to help me?
I was going to ask that actually, in terms of the conversations that we need to have. We're not having a conversation with Mick yet, so
if you
there's an
feel that
opportunity,
it's time to have a conversation with Mick right away, then you two can decide what's the way it's most likely to happen, what's the way you feel most comfortable with, and what's the way that's going to be most successful.
Okay, yeah.
I'd be really keen to do that with you, with Mick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, well, Mick knows that I've stopped drinking, so yeah, I'm not seeing as much of him as I was. I don't know whether I want to involve him yet, though.
Does he understand how important it is to you?
Yeah, I think so. He knows it's important to me, and I think that's why he's standing back a little bit.
Okay.
He's standing back.
Yeah.
Okay, so to take a very practical view of this, he's not putting pressure on you.
No.
So that's not a practical task you need to do at the moment. You don't need say, Sally and you to go along and say, I need you to back off on the pressure. That's not happening.
No.
So it's not an urgent thing from that point of view. Secondly, you feel that your friendship is strong enough for Mick. You're saying he supports you. Your friendship doesn't depend on your seeing Mick immediately.
No. And I don't think I want to sit down and explain about my drinking to him. I kind of feel that's what it might involve. I don't really feel like I want to do that just yet with him.
Okay. Sally, what do you think?
I have some concerns about that, but it's not urgent now, so maybe we just need to keep coming back to it a little bit to check it out and see if Mick's been in touch and how you're feeling about it. She might miss him. He's been around for a long time, he's been involved in the family for a long time, so just to keep checking in about the Mick situation, really. Do you think?
Yeah, okay.
So this is a great thing about the network, because you've got Sally here who thinks, you two have been very close for a long time, you've done a lot of drinking together, you maybe have encouraged each other or suggested to each other or something like that. So Sally's kind of your, as a support of you, she's saying Sally is concerned, okay? Now, you don't need to put a brave face on it. You need to feel that you can share with all of us whether Mick's a temptation or not.
Yeah. Well, his birthday's coming up. That's going to be tricky because he might expect me to have a day off.
Right. So you have given an example of something that maybe the network can really contribute to. How are you going to get past his birthday without drinking? Because you've decided you want no exceptions, you don't want to hurt his feelings, so this conversation Sally's suggesting might be timely before his birthday. Have a think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. I think we need to get something sorted before that, otherwise it's going to be really difficult.
It makes me feel a bit anxious.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, yeah, we have to talk to him then.
Okay, so you're going to get your diaries out, you're going to make plans for having these conversations, and you're going to come back a week on Tuesday and tell me how they went.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.